the Fit and Healthy Athlete Podcast.
Debbie Potts is here to help you burn fat, optimize health, and enhance your performance in life as you age. We'll explore metabolic health, holistic health, and actionable insights with guest experts and deep dives into health topics. Whether you're an athlete or just looking to thrive, let's discover how to become your best self. Let's get started.
All right, guys, it's Debbie Potts, and I am putting this podcast out on our audio platforms. I have not done one on the podcast platform since end of May for various reasons. But starting in September, I will go back to regular podcast episodes released every Tuesday. Focus is on how to improve the aging process. How can we be fit and healthy from the inside out as we age? Fit and healthy aging athlete, fit and healthy individual. I'm calling the podcast, I couldn't figure it out, so I'm keeping it simple. Coach Debbie Potts Show. I was trying to get rid of just calling it the Low Carb Athlete Podcast because I didn't want to just focus on carbohydrate intake. A lot of people think low carb means zero carb, and I'm not strict carnivore, but I'm a meat-based person myself. Strategic carbohydrates around the workout is key for a lot of our higher intensity workouts, right? And we talked a lot about men versus women, and we're doing high intensity training. I'm doing metabolic testing, identifying people's training zones, fuel sources at the zones, and how to fuel for improved performance. Not eating at all isn't necessarily the plan we want to go for. It's not the solution when you're trying to lose weight. Sometimes adding a little fuel in around the workout helps. So the podcast focus this season will be on various topics on how you can be healthy at a cellular level, starting from the inside out. We're going to talk a lot about skin fitness, about metabolism, mitochondria, oxidative stress, all sorts of different topics. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, Coach Debbie Potts, if you're listening to this, you may want to go over to YouTube and watch the videos. There's tons of content that's free and a lot of webinars, slide PowerPoint presentations I did. A lot of my rabbit hole blog posts I went over. I'm not going to put those all on the audio channel. The audio podcast will just be the interviews, and once in a while I'll add in my rabbit hole episodes. But the rabbit hole Debbie content will be on the YouTube channel, and of course, always the interviews I will post when I put them out, usually Tuesdays, or sometimes I want to wait. I don't want to wait. I just want to get them out, so it might just be upon that day I interviewed the guest. All right, so just take a moment here. Let's share my screen and talk about me. If you don't know me, I don't often talk about myself or like to too much. You might disagree. But just to let you know, I am back on the audio versions, excited for you to catch up on everything. If you haven't been following on YouTube, as I said, there's so many interviews I have to be producing here on my end, so you can listen to them on your car or wherever you're listening to podcasts. I always listen to podcasts when I drive to Masters Swimming at my lunchtime break a few days a week and work on educating myself as I'm driving. Now, I am going to share. Let me get back to this. Whoops. I'm sharing on the audio version, my website, debbiepotts.net. Now, what is my purpose? I really want to go over, just give you a little background before we start going into all the interviews I will be posting here. I said 25 years, but it's been 30 years now in the fitness industry. I suddenly, born in 71, November 5th. And I think I just turned 50, but it's a couple years now. And I started in the fitness industry way long ago in college, but even high school, I was into health and aerobics and the zone diet, and I was always experimenting different things. Now, when I got into triathlons and marathons and running, I started with Danskin triathlon when I was 25 years old, many eons ago, and got into running 10K races and half marathons. And I got into marathons. I started doing cycling events as Seattle to Portland. We lived in Bellevue, Washington until the last 4 years. And I just fell in love with endurance sports. I was really into training, and then the racing was just so much fun to me. It wasn't work. It just kind of was natural. And I never was finding my specialty before that in high school or college. It was more after college, I discovered this passion of endurance events and got into my first Ironman when I was 29 years old. Then I raced until I couldn't race anymore because of my adrenal exhaustion. I shared in my book, Life is Not a Race. It is a journey. Now, because of my journey of endurance events and personal training background and getting into nutrition, I created the WHOLESTIC Method years ago. And I really felt the need as a personal trainer. I couldn't really help people be healthy from the inside out by just personal training them to sometimes people to 3 times a week. And then, what else did they do the rest of the time? So you can read all about me. I won't go into it, bore you, but I started the podcast 12 years ago. If you know that story, I was John Smith. He had the Garden Variety Triathlon show. My husband was listening to it and it got me to be a guest to talk about heart rate training and low carb fueling and fat adaptation, all this stuff years ago. And then he asked me to be a co-host on his show. We called it Fit, Fat, Fast. And then he got a job that he couldn't do anymore. And I was left with this podcast. Well, I didn't want to quit. I just found this really fun to do. I don't make money off of it. It takes a lot of time, but it was fun to me. And I thought, I'll just keep going with it. Well, somehow along the way, when John left, we lost the hosting site. Something happened on his end. So I had to start the name over again. We lost all those subscribers and had to restart. Then we called it, I couldn't figure out the name. And then a car ride trip to Whistler. I thought, it'd be funny because I think I'm funny, but I'm not. Call it Shut the Front Door podcast. Like, oh my God, no way podcast. But that name didn't really work well. We thought it was good at the time. Changed the name again to match my branding, the WHOLESTIC Method, and training the whole athlete from the inside out. So we called it the Whole Athlete. Thanks to Sean Croxton, I had a coaching call with them. What should I do? Branding myself. How should I grow this WHOLESTIC Method? Working on the whole you. I like to spell holistic with the E because I wanted to go with the whole person. Well, then I got a cease and desist letter for some gym. A San Francisco gym had a gym called Whole Athlete. And they told me I can't call my podcast The Whole Athlete. And I had to change the name again and was on this low carb cruise with all these carnivore, meat-based Danny Vega and Robert Sykes. And we were just hanging out, chatting every night and decided, why don't I call it the Low Carb Athlete Podcast? Fast forward to 2024, I feel that I'm in a place in my life, in our industry, it's kind of went from paleo, low carb, keto, carnivore. I like to just call it nutrient dense, real food that balances your blood sugar. I wanted to call the podcast something else. The Fit and Healthy Athlete just is kind of boring. And so that's what led me to calling it this month. I decided on a bike ride, like, you know what? I'm branding myself Coach Debbie Potts on YouTube and my Instagram and Facebook. why don't I just call the podcast WPOTS? Embarrassing, but it just goes with everything else. Consistency. I am continuing the same topics, similar guests, talk about different topics as we age, and tying in my training background in nutritional therapy as a practitioner. It's called NTP or F, Functional Nutritional Therapy Practitioner. I'm also a FDN practitioner, which is standing for Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner, where we can order functional lab tests and be a health detective and investigate really what's going on, root cause medicine, and help people resolve their metabolic chaos. I also years ago did USA Triathlon coaching certification. I've done many natural running certifications back when Newton had a natural running course. I did metabolic efficiency training back with Bob Seebehor, and then I did New Leaf metabolic testing. Now I own Pinoe metabolic testing equipment and run that in North San Diego or wherever people want me to go. I can take it with me, and really love working in metabolic efficiency. Metabolic health ties into my personalization of creating programs for people, personalized programming, precision medicine that we want to test and not guess, and look at genetics as well. And another program I just finished was 6 months with Wild Health Precision Medicine course, which allows me to get board certified as a health and wellness coach. But I really wanted to do the Wild Health program because I wanted to learn more about the Clarity Report, so I can integrate the Clarity Report of genetics into my coaching program using functional lab testing, stool tests, look at their microbiome and look at their blood chemistry and correlate that data with their genetics. Super fascinating. I'll show you mine. I have it up on the screen. Now, my background in fitness, I did Ironmans until 2013 when I got adrenal exhaustion. I tried again 2014, 2015, and it just didn't work. And I had a bike crash right before I was doing Hanu half Ironman. I had a big fat hematoma on my head and had a surgery on my hand. And that was just kind of a sign, writing on the wall, stop trying. And now I just coach athletes of all levels and non-athletes, people that just are trying to be fit to train for life as I am. And I think it's really important to be a health optimizer and work on meeting the client where they're at. What are your goals? What do you feel that you are not doing well with? What do you need support on? And let's investigate what are your external stressors. Let's identify your hidden sources of internal stress with running some functional lab testing. So as an FDN practitioner, we like to look at the whole picture, running 3 to 5 functional lab tests. I like to add in the data from your genetics if people would like to do that. Again, a Pinoe metabolic test, and then I do nutritional therapy intake form. So a lot of information I collect to help figure out what you are doing, where you want to go, how I could help you. Now, looking at this podcast as a way for me to share my story, my struggles, my areas of opportunity, I like to just be real. I like to just say it as it is and just have a conversation with you. Feel like we're sitting here having a cup of tea. I'm drinking my sparkling water, but really focus on helping you figure out how to thrive as you age, how to be your best self, how to recreate your current self today at whatever age you are so you can be your best self in the future. I am strongly promoting we all take action now and get our functional lab tests, even blood chemistry assessment, and get an analysis done correctly with FDN practitioners, myself, to figure out how can I be even better. I don't want to settle for this normal crap. I want to be my optimal self and figure out what tools, what ingredients I need to add into my daily protocol so I am living my best life. And that depends on you, the individual. What someone else is doing on Instagram, Facebook, I don't do TikTok, but whatever you do for social media, it is going to be different for everybody. We want to look at what does your body need to restore your health, use your body's own innate intelligence to bring it back to homeostasis, to balance. So we can look at this picture on my computer screen here, wellness, functional medicine. Look at the tree. and the roots. And mitochondrial dysfunction is right there in the middle. Oxidative stress, lifestyle-based disease, nutrient deficiencies, environmental toxins, hormone imbalances, poor detoxification system, intestinal dysbiosis, food allergies. That's what we want to talk about. We want to investigate so you're not just guessing and not waiting till you feel like crap. That is my purpose, because I got my adrenal exhaustion around March 2013 after I did my best races ever in 2012. I felt amazing. I was placing in my age group. I was thriving, having so much fun at the same time. But then suddenly I got hit by that Mack truck. I felt exhausted. I had to have naps every day. I was doing low carb, probably not eating enough calories, and just eating barely anything. So that's my other goal, is to educate you that you need to get enough calories, and we need to get carbohydrates in around the workouts when we're higher intensity, but also enough protein and fat. And I think I was too low. I was so strict on keto at the time. This was 12 years ago, that I was being too obsessed about fasting, too obsessed about no carbs, because I was training at a high level. I was on an elite triathlon team. I competed all the time, but I also owned a fitness studio. And you know, when you own a fitness studio, you're teaching clients and you're teaching classes, and you're not just sitting there on a sofa or a desk. I'm moving all day long. So I was doing too much of everything. That is my passion, purpose, and mission. My goal here is to share that with you on this podcast. And hopefully, if you want to do personalized coaching, or I'm trying to get a group program together for this September where we can work together with 30 people and meet weekly, because I think it's important to figure out how I can serve you best. And what I call the Holistic Method coaching program, the personalized program or the group program, working on those 8 elements and working as a health detective one-on-one, helping resolve your metabolic chaos. But I think if you're just trying to lose weight, you may be interested. So let's head to that group program. It's a 30-day program. I created this over 10 years ago. And when did I opened my studio? The big one is 3,500 square feet, Fitness Forward Studio, 2010. So 2009, I created this because we did it as a 21-day sugar detox program. Then over the years, I added the 5-day jumpstart program. And it was all before fasting. This is all before OMAD. And it ended up, I was doing bone broth fasting, and I should have been more successful than I was in my studio, because I did all this stuff before people even knew what keto and bone broth and fasting was. We were doing that just intuitively. 5-day jumpstart, 1 meal, but then we're doing liquids the rest of the day, bone broth, and really focus getting that protein, amino acids, stuff like that. We're going to do a digest rest. Now we're doing a digest reset in phase 2, and then phase 3. How do I keep going? Do I do this 80% of the time, or do I still need a lot more work and I'm going to do 100% or maybe 90-10? Now, this will help you get on to improving metabolic health, give you a group environment, help you reset, reboot your nutrition, your exercise, your health building habits. If you are struggling to get results with what you're doing now, perhaps you're not listening to your own innate intelligence. Perhaps you're listening too much to what works for everybody else and obsessing about someone's Instagram picture because they have a 6-pack abs and their muscles are cut, and you're copying what they are doing because you want to look like them. Well, your program is going to look differently. We got to work on what you need. You are unique. So don't compare yourself to everybody else on social media, because they're showing everything when they look hot, when they look good, when they're feeling great. You don't see the other side of it when they're feeling off and not energetic and when they're not happy. I want you to figure out, this is what I need for me. This is what I need to do. Listen to what your body's telling you and personalize it. Okay. So if you are struggling to lose weight, this 30-day group program will really help you. And I only do it with 30 people. Now, we'll meet every Monday, thinking that 8:30 in the morning Pacific Coast time will help everyone. And then we'll do the rest of it online using Practice Better. Now, the price is $597 because I'm going to add in nutritional therapy assessment. We're going to do a 3-day food and mood log before we start. So try to get connected with everyone individually. And then I am offering a special if you start this month. If you sign up in August, you can do $297 if you buy a Lumen with my code, because I really find Lumen so helpful to help figure out what you should eat and to be fat burning, and then when to be carb burning if you are doing a harder workout. And this will vary for everyone. So testing and not guessing day to day, it really helps you. So I've done a few blogs and videos on that. So this blog, you can see I have some videos. This was a few years ago. I did a slideshow I made in my previous life when I lived in Seattle. The 3-day program again is 5-day jumpstart, phase 2, 21-day detox, sugar detox, eating real food, use practice better. We're going to work on the holistic method 8 elements, meal prepping, focus on primal paleo, ancestral health. I'm more animal-based, but maybe you're not. But we have to figure out, if you're not animal-based, how you're going to get those protein and to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Now, if you live locally, or if you want to come visit, we can do your resting metabolic rate and your exercise test here in North San Diego at a discount. So to get started, I would do a CGM. If you can order a Lumen, we can get some bone broth, some supplements, but really focusing on what you're eating. And so there's some links here of some items, essential amino acids, creatine, and some different things I like from Keon. But I don't really want to say that we're focused on supplements because I don't want you to focus on that. We're going to focus on nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement throughout the day, getting your 10,000 steps a day, looking at your gut health, digestion, and we're going to look at metabolic health as well as minerals, getting B minerals or element or realites, getting that in your water, and then journaling for happiness, gratitude, play, laughter. We're going to journal each night or your morning. You can do it and all that. Now, blood sugar regulation, hormone balance, nutrient status, inflammation, gut health, lifestyle factors, and individualization of holistic health. This is a part of metabolic health, key components to being healthy. We'll address this more so my personalized program, but at least the 30-day program will give you a jump start. So the goal of functional medicine, we look at root cause medicine to optimize your metabolic health and addressing the underlying causes of metabolic dysfunction. What is off that we need to correct so everything's working as an orchestra? We always say, you know, all the players in the orchestra, all the instruments need to be working so we can create beautiful music. Same with the body. So this approach can help prevent and manage conditions as diabetes, type 2, obesity, cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders by promoting holistic well-being and balance within the body. So we're using a variety of biomarkers when we do the functional lab testing and the personalized programming to assess metabolic health and risk of metabolic disease to help your future self. Now, if you're getting blood chemistry, I'll send you to Ulta Labs. You can go to LabCorp and get this done, but we want to look at your glucose, your insulin, your A1C, your lipids. I would like to get LP little a, ApoB, as well as triglycerides and CRP. That will show us systemic inflammation. Hormones like your free T3, free T4, cortisol, that's going to be looked better at a saliva or test as the Dutch test as dried urine. Your hormones as estrogen, testosterone, leptin, those can help us find hormonal imbalances that may affect metabolism. Liver health, a lot of people, when I do their blood chemistry assessment, have congested liver as I look at their liver enzymes, the ALT and AST markers, and GGT. This can indicate liver health congestion. So I put people's functional lab tests, their blood chemistry, into our FDN blood chemistry assessment spreadsheet, and then I look at it from, instead of your ranges from the doctor will be normal. We don't like normal. We want optimal. I'll put them in optimal ranges. And if it's lower or higher than the range we're looking at optimal, that gives me clues to imbalances as the liver. Oxidative stress, another big one, biomarkers. And then this is a great one to look at your genetics, like the glutathione marker we'll see on my report the SOD and mallow, I never can say this word, MDA, can provide information on oxidative stress levels, which help contribute to metabolic dysfunction. And then besides CRP levels, you can go deeper and order labs as interleukin-6 and TNF alpha. Homocysteine we want to look at, make sure that's below 8. And that is, if it's higher than that, we want to look at supplementing with methylated B complex, homocysteine. You want to make sure you have the B vitamins. Body composition, we want to get that done, as well as my Pinoy metabolic testing, seeing what your resting metabolism is. Gut health markers, that will be with a GI stool test and genetic markers. So I do all this with my personalized program, but the 30-day challenge will get you started, see where you are. Now, Dr. Anna Quebeca, my friend, talks about vitamin D levels. You should know, we want them 60 to 80. We want to know your CRP levels. We want to get that under 1. A1C, you want that under 5%. And DHA sulfate, you should know. So you want to order on the labs. You can order Ultra Labs for your blood chemistry. And then we've got Pinoy metabolism testing, all that information there. And then we can do calculations. If you can't do Pinoy with me, we can do a calculation online to figure out your total calories a day and your TDMM, total daily metabolic rate, just some calculations just for an estimate. So we can look at that. Okay, so that's on my blog page. Now, how to use lumen in this. So understanding lumen, I did many videos, a breath analysis. Remember, a 1 on lumen to a 5 correlates with your RER, respiratory exchange ratio of your breath, the ratio of oxygen and carbon dioxide. You can learn more in my videos, but basically a 1 on the lumen is 0.7 on the RER, and 0.85 is 50-50. And then we've got 1.0 RER is a full carbohydrate, so that'd be a 5. A lumen will help you with metabolic tracking, taking measurements throughout the day upon waking, before and after meals, and before and after exercise, and then at end of day is good. And I am a practitioner, access to the practitioner board, so I can see data of my clients. So we can figure out your goals. Metabolic flexibility, talked a lot about on the YouTube channel. Mitochondrial health, and how lumen and Pinoy, ideally Pinoy first, then lumen day-to-day, the role of mitochondria in metabolic flexibility. So mitochondria, as you know, everyone else says the powerhouses of the cell. They play a crucial role in metabolic flexibility, and they're responsible for converting the nutrients we consume into usable energy in the form that you know of, ATP. And the ability of mitochondria to switch between fats and carbohydrates indicates, or is an indication of your health and efficiency of the mitochondria. Lumen, again, we want to test with Pinoy first, but then day to day you can use your lumen, and that measures your carbon dioxide in your breath, your exhale, provides an indication of whether your body is burning fat or carbs, and this information gives us a direct insight into your metabolic state in a roundabout way by your efficiency of mitochondria. Why do mitochondria matter? Well, I still need to read Dr. Casey Mead's book called Good Energy. I've listened to many of her podcast interviews. You might have as well in Huberman. Mitochondria health matters. Healthy mitochondria efficiently produce energy by switching between fuel sources as needed. The ability is essential for meeting the varying energy demands of daily life and physical activity. Number 2, reduce oxidative stress. I've been trying to dive into this more because we are increasing that as we have more stressors. Proper mitochondrial function helps minimize the production of reactive oxygen species, which can cause oxidative stress and damage cellular components, including mitochondria themselves. Improved metabolic health by monitoring your metabolic state as lumen day to day can help identify patterns of lifestyle and lifestyle factors that may be affecting your mitochondrial function. This is the WHOLESTIC Method. Poor sleep, high stress levels, inadequate nutrition can all impair mitochondria efficiency. That's why the big focus right now, you might be hearing more and more about mitochondria efficiency for metabolic health. It comes down to the cell. the mitochondria. By making adjustments in these areas, you can enhance mitochondrial health, leading to better energy levels, improved physical performance, and overall well-being. So using your lumen, when we're working on together in this program, we can find out more about how's your nutrition, how's your timing of eating, how's your exercise, how's your movement throughout the day, how's your sleep hygiene routine, are you getting quality sleep, are you wearing an Oura ring, can we correlate that data as well? And then how are you managing your stress? I'm going to look at your heart rate variability. My one-on-one programs, I look at this day to day, but we can see this in our program together. What your stress and your sleep and exercise all impacts heart rate variability and impacts the lumen. Stress, chronic stress raises cortisol. Increased cortisol increases glucose. High glucose all the time is going to increase insulin being stimulated all the time. Anything too much causes dysfunction, resulting in insulin resistance. So we want to ideally wake up. Fat burn mode on the lumen should show 1 when we wake up in the morning if the mitochondria are effectively using stored fat for energy. This is a good sign of metabolic health. But when you're waking up all the time and you're at a 4 or 5 on your lumen, it may indicate that we need to adjust and course correct some lifestyle adjustments. Might have some other stressors, might have gut inflammation, blood sugar levels. Cortisol raises glucose, and so that will wake you up in the morning with a high lumen score. We want more data. You can't manage what you're not measuring. So this is why I think the lumen is very beneficial, as well as if you want to see GM as well, it's kind of fun to get it all going on. But that's how the lumen works in the program, because there's that intricate relationship between the lifestyle you're having and your mitochondrial health. This will give us personalization, give us insights and actionable recommendations to help us optimize your metabolism and enhance your overall health. So the key aspect of metabolic health is the ability to efficiently switch between energy sources, reflecting the adaptability and health of your mitochondria. With lumen, you can control your metabolic journey and support your mitochondria in functioning at the best. Now, it's something to go with, but also intuition, blood sugar testing, all this helps. And then putting that with your Oura or Whoop. Now, there's more information on how to use it in my blog blog page. I put all this information in here. Okay. Now, the next step is using my code. You can go to this blog page and use my code to figure out your lumen device. You want to use my code so I can help you navigate everything. Now I'll put that in the show notes. And then I did another blog here, I'll put here, on how to improve the aging process. Getting your VO2 max tested, finding your metabolic health markers with glucose, insulin, cholesterol levels. I don't like cholesterol, but ApoB, LP(a), muscle health. We want to look at your lean body mass. That's all connected. Muscle health, just working on your VO2 max is only one part of the picture. We want to improve muscle health and work on protein, prioritizing it, and lifting weights. Increase your mitochondria, but we want to remember, everyone talks about VO2 max, but it's just as important as that muscle health. We want to look at these optimal ranges for metabolic health. Your waist circumference is the old measurements of the triglyceride, your HDL and LDL glucose. These were the metabolic health markers. All right. And then optimal ranges, I put in this blog for your blood sugar, insulin sensitivity, your A1C. You want to for sure be under 5.7. I would say 5.5 is what, even 5% is what Dr. William Davis says. Cholesterol mine's super high, you can see, but those are the ranges that are suggested. They're all in here. And I put kind of clues if your ALT is high, low ALT, what that correlates with. So I put some of my notes in here. That's what we work on in the Holistic Method program. All right. So lastly, I'll do another episode on my clarity report. This is what we do when you order genetics. I can order it for you. I've got a link that I have to order it. You just have to pay me. But this is what methylation, my homocysteine. I just redid my test and I got this lowered because I started taking methylated B complex. So that's my homocysteine. We want that lower. Still need to get my folate up and B12, but that's some markers. Total cholesterol is really high, but I'm not worried about that. And so this is the new report on your genetics, and I'm waiting for them to connect it with the blood chemistry on here. I need choline, which I just did a great interview. I need folate and choline, so egg yolks. I have a high genetic choline need. So actually, listen to my interview I just recorded today, a post on BioSil and collagen, elastin for your skin and how you need choline and how choline's in BioSil. But that's maybe why I'm wrinkling more than other people. I have increased need of choline, so I can't really eat enough eggs to get it. I need to supplement. Anyways, that's the clarity report. I've gone through this in my YouTube videos, but I'll go into this even more with my updated labs to show the changes. But I find this super fascinating when I'm working with people on genetics and figure out what best is for you. Now, genetics and then the labs on here, they're not doing anymore, but I'm going to hopefully see that change. Your circadian genetics. Interesting there, the clock, sleep, ADA, those are all the genes connected to sleep. And then you could see my genetics would show up here. I look at the more important ones are the 2 risk alleles. So you get one from each parent. Increased cancer risk associated with alteration circadian rhythm. Don't eat when it's dark. So I like to read all these and then figure them out. Personalized mindful plan. Here's neurobehavioral genetics, and more. All right. So that's all what I've been talking about, especially this cardiovascular disease, looking at your inflammatory markers, CRP, your lipids. And remember, the lipids total cholesterol is more questionable these days. It's more about this LP, little a, and APOB. And Peter Attia's book, Outlive, has lots of information in that. All right. So that's all. I hope you enjoy this next season of Coach Debbie Potts' show. Seems weird to say that, but I am here to bring you guests, different experts in the field of fat loss, health, longevity, and of course, athletic performance gain. So we will still keep on working on how to be a stronger, faster, more powerful athlete as we age. I'm trying to get stronger and not lose speed. I need more fast twitch muscle fibers and lifting more, less cardio, more weights, more short stuff. That's what we need to look at as an individual, how you can be the best version of yourself as you age. We need to not blame the aging process and go, oh, this is my new normal. I'm struggling with this or that. That's just part of aging. I hate that. That's a bunch of crap. Realize you just need to change how you train, rethink everything. We need to take a different approach. Remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And my other favorite saying, I have to tell myself all the time, comparison is a thief of joy. All right. Last 2 things, you can't out supplement poor lifestyle habits, and you can't out exercise poor nutrition habits. We need to look at the whole you, how to be fit and healthy from the inside out so you can thrive as you age. That is my mission on this podcast. So hopefully I can help give you the tools to be your best version of yourself in the future. So recreate your current self today so you can be your best self in the future, right? I don't want to struggle and pass away as my dad did at age 80. He's been gone for 2 years, and I just see all the things that he could have done differently, but maybe it's that generation. He's not the type of exercise, and they weren't into nutrition or research or anything. So we now can get that right tools, the right information, so we can be traveling and having fun and playing when we're 80, not struggling. Okay. So personal mission. All right. Let me know what questions you have. Please reach out, debbiepotts.net, and I will follow up with you. Let me know what you want to hear and what you want to learn more of.
Thanks for listening to the Fit and Healthy Athlete Podcast.
Coach Debbie Potts draws from decades of experience. Ready to optimize your health? Visit www.debbiepotts.net for a discovery call. Find her on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Coach Debbie Potts. To support the show, like, rate, and review. See you next time.